Greetings and welcome to the None of Your Business podcast, a conversation on all topics business. This is episode 10, and we will be discussing work from home and its impacts. My name is John Daniel, and I'm speaking with Joel sir. Hi, Joel sir.
Hi, Daniel, and it's great to have a change or role reversal. Celebrating our 10th episode for the podcast. And a big shout out to all our listeners who have been with us throughout this 10 weeks. It's 10 weeks have flown by. We have touched upon different topics. We have had different people in our show, and it's an absolute great feeling to be here on the 10th episode. And today, as John said, we have a new guest rather. He's John is coming here for the first time into as my host rather for this episode. There's another specialty how John is connected with this podcast. It's John who actually initiated this idea into my head when he was with me last year. And John, so hats off. We have finally materialized it. And here we are doing an episode together. So it should be great. And I'm definitely looking forward towards it.
Yeah, sir, I'm absolutely honored to be on the show with you on this 10th episode, which is quite a milestone, in my opinion.
It is. It is. It has been through the support of everyone, the listeners, my students, you, all our well wishers, and the guests who have been here. It's them who have made it. And as we say, like we have been, I have said this before also, we are recording from our different locations wherever we are based right now due to the pandemic. And again, this was brought out to enhance the learning abilities of people as we get confined into the walls of our home. And that's what's basically happening with everyone today, isn't it, John? Like everyone's inside their four walls. The new term or the new trending topic in this pandemic has been WFH or work from home. And for you students, it would be SFH or study from home. So, how has been that experience?
Yeah, with the onset of the pandemic in March 2020, everybody who been working or at school were all just under the notion that we're just gonna go home for a month or two, and then we're gonna come back during the next academic year or the next fiscal year, and life is just gonna go back to normal. But apparently, and as we've seen for the past year and a half, that has definitely not been the case. And the only option to the only remedy was work from home, or in our cases, study from home.
Exactly, exactly. And for especially for us teachers, it was a completely new experience because none of us, I'm pretty sure at least 95% of us were not ready for it. And many of them were technologically, what will I say, differently abled. And it was a huge challenge. But hats off to all the teachers, to all of you listening out there. You have evolved. Like they say in the Pokemon games, you have evolved to the next level, and that's what we have. We have shown that no matter what comes in our way, whatever adversity, be it the pandemic or anything, at the end of the day, we will continue to learn. And a byproduct of that thought process is this particular podcast itself. So I'll just maybe specify a bit more on that working from home. Now, when we think of the working from home topic, John, I've usually seen that there are two camps. There are two camps of people. One which thinks that nothing will get done, and the other who thinks that like I'm talking from the business point of view. Some businesses feel nothing's going to happen, whereas you have other businesses who feel the employees might be more happier and productive, and that something can be done more efficiently. Where do you stand, like from your studying from home experience? Do you think it's better?
Well, in my opinion, nobody was ready for this change. But then, in the case of all changes, I guess we should be, willing to go with anything, whether it be the pandemic or working from home or schooling from home.
Absolutely.
Life becomes life when we adapt to certain situations, right? Like all sorts of situations we've been through, and then this is like relatively different from what we've experienced in the past years. So I guess we've all been like we all got an account. I mean, we got all gotten used to this working from home or schooling from home scenario.
True, like they say, the only thing constant in life is change, and we all get adapted to that. But we were having some interesting conversations off the record, and I did understand that John was actually doing a bit of research on this field, like work from home, how it has been benefiting as a part of his studies. So, John, what are your findings? What do you see when when you looked or when you opened the box of work from home?
Yes, when I was researching about work from home, the first thing that comes to my mind is nobody was ready for this. Everybody left their offices with, with their coffee cups half full, and then just left it there, uh, hoping to come back in a week or two when the pandemic would hopefully blow over and the government would find some solutions. But that wasn't the case, as we have seen. And so, students as well, definitely. I mean, schooling was also quite a challenge. For the younger students, especially, the exams last year was cancelled altogether during March due to the pandemic. And then, yeah, I guess this has been the longest summer holidays of our lives. It's been a year and a half. We've been stuck at home, and hopefully, after vaccinations are all ready, we'll be able to go return back to school in the 1st of November.
True, true, as you said. So, like, are you waiting to come back to school, or do you prefer this method?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I would prefer to be at school because of the fact that I could socialize more or I could network more. I could take in the matter more easily if I'm at school rather than at home. So I guess a lot of people are feeling that way.
Exactly. So, even from the work from home perspective, if you ask me, like the answer whether work from home actually makes us more happier and productive, the answer greatly, I feel, depends on how each one of us personally fares when we are working from home. I've seen some people swear by the 40 hours a week in the office. And but however, there is a growing support for the second camp of people, as I said earlier, who find that they are more productive working from home. And a lot of companies are coming into that. A lot of companies are coming into that picture, saying that, yes, we are giving you the option to work from home, especially the IT companies. Now, one thing which is very important for work from home is that you should have the technology for it. Now, it's very difficult if you do not have the technology, if you do not have a great internet access. That's when work from home or study from home, for that matters, becomes very, very difficult. So the tech
Yeah,
industry, yeah,
absolutely.
yes, John, go on.
Yeah, technology is important. And for for the people who are going to offices, offices are sort of becoming extinct over time right now. I mean,
True.
the pandemic is here to stay.
Absolutely. Like you have seen a lot of, I personally know a lot of companies, especially those who are again in the tech industry, who have actually vacated their offices. And in case they do require you having a sudden blossom of a lot of new companies which are actually selling office spaces where it's a shared office workspace which is being developed, and that does look like the future for a lot of industries where you have a shared office space, you get to meet a lot more people, you have your own area where you can work, but you can also meet the other industry and competitors along with that process. So that might be something new, which is definitely developing with the rise of the pandemic. The office spaces are being vacated by a lot of companies, and they're going towards an office sharing or space sharing with offices. So we're having definitely a
Yeah,
lot of this. Yeah,
touching on the shared workspace philosophy, during the early 2010s, there was this company that popped up from nowhere called WeWork. I'm sure
exactly.
you've heard of
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposedly a tech company, but it was mostly a real estate company. They were selling or rather renting out office spaces.
Yes. Absolutely. And when I say this, like that you're evolving and you're moving into this, but one thing which we have to keep in mind is that uh, it's just like the same old adage which says that one size doesn't fit all. So when it comes to a company's work from home policy, everyone and everything is different. productivity, the success rate, all depends on the preferred work style. And that's also the reason it's hard to find any solid data on whether or not people are more productive at home. It just seems to boil down to the personality type and the job you do. Why we're all different. Like some of us can't fathom getting the work done with a TV nearby and all the comforts of our home. We get distracted, we move there. And that's a pretty, I'm sure that's something which is happening with a lot of students too. Sitting at home, you're having Netflix and Amazon Prime and other basic softwares in your fingertips, you get distracted. Like if the class is on Google Meet, you are in a choice. Your mind is fighting amongst itself to say, should I look at YouTube? Should I go to Discord to chat with my friends? Or should I actually listen to the teacher? And that's again brings down. So work from home or study from home for that matters is again one size doesn't fit all, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, sir. I mean, as you said earlier, there are two camps of people. One who stays productive working from home, or rather prefer working from home or studying from home, and then the other camp of people who just absolutely despise working from home and just wants to go back to the office or to the school.
right,
And
exactly. No, you're true. You're absolutely right there because it again depends on the person. And one thing we have to identify when we speak about work from home is that employees aren't the only ones who benefit from this. The employer or the company can also just as greatly benefit from a remote employee because they can limit the absences, they can increase productivity, and most importantly, they're saving money. They are saving money. And also, with the advent of remote working and home working, you can actually hire the best of the best while not having geographical restrictions. So that this is just absolute benefits for any employer. Like even if you look at the schooling side, you can actually hire teachers across geographical borders who can take the class for you, who can just be online and take it. Now, again, there's a war, as a lot of people would say, you require the human touch, and that's why we need to get back to school or our workplaces. But again, certain other industries may not require that at all. But this should be having some disadvantages too. I mean, we have been saying this is like really great and all, but have you been able to notify any disadvantages in this?
well, absolutely, yes. There are disadvantages and there are two sides to everything. So then, work from home itself, we've got disadvantages to it because as you said earlier, we're losing focus.
Mhm. True. We are.
Yeah, we're losing focus, and then we're not able to focus as well as we would if the work or the education was offline.
Right,
And that
exactly.
aspect is definitely to be considered.
It is. Distraction is definitely one, as John rightly said. But what I have felt personally amongst all this is the health issues which comes from this. There's a lot of health issues which come from like we just slouch all day, and that's something which I've seen with a lot of people happening. Now, this again, you can say that this is can be even if you are traveling and or being in office too. But thing is that being in our own comfort zone, now there are two sides to it. One, we might be mentally better because we might feel less stressed in our home environment, which can in turn make us happier and more productive. But the other side of it is that we are actually not getting any exercise unless you actually take the method, you're mentally challenging yourself to do that. But a lot of people are actually just chilling out in a way where their body gets nothing. You've seen a lot of people put on weight, in fact, after the pandemic or during the pandemic. And these are all issues. And again, spending a lot of time inside your home, in front of your screen, all those I feel are causing this issue. Now, that's just the health side of it. But again, as I said earlier, one of the disadvantages which I mainly find is the internet connection. Now, we are not yet ready where we have a global or a very powerful internet connection each and every place. So you might need a particular corner in your room, or you might need to move out. I know a couple of people who actually travel 3 to 4 kilometers daily to take their classes just because they do not have internet connection near their home. So yes, there are many disadvantages. There will be more. And John, your final words on this?
Yeah, especially in a country like India, the internet does not have to be necessarily consistent throughout the places, geographically speaking. So obviously there is going to be an issue. And then speaking of comfort zone, we I think we evolve as people when we get out of our comfort zone and do stuff that scares us, per se. And then when there was a time when we used to go back to when we used to go to schools and offices, we had a routine where we'd wake up in the morning, get our work done, and then commute to school or commute to office, and then we have our own environment over there. And I mean, we're all missing that right now as of the
Oh,
situation.
yes, I absolutely agree on that last point which you said. Uh, Almost majority of the people, their biological clocks have changed. Late nights, watching series and movies, and then just sleeping off in the mornings. The whole biological clock, the way we used to function, the routines are evolving. They are changing, if for the good or the bad, we do not know. But again, should you work from home or work from the office? Should you study from home or study from school? Well, for studying part, I would say it's better to come to school as a teacher. Again, that's I leave it up to your acumen for that. But for should you work from home or work from office? Honestly comes down, I feel, to the environment you'll be most effective in, along with the industry you are in. So that's my take on this. And John, what would you like to say?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely it's obviously according to people's comfort levels. So definitely there might be people who do their work more productively if they're in school or an office, or then there are other people who do work better if they're at home or in
Right,
a rather online situation.
right.
I know somebody whose grades improved drastically when they were staying at home rather than they were at school.
Hmm. Oh,
And
wow.
so it's definitely someone's personal opinions on this.
Exactly, exactly. So, as we said, it's just a tip of the work from home, which we were discussing today. There's a whole ocean of analysis out there, and we would love to hear your comments
Yeah,
and your
it's just the
feedback.
tip of the iceberg that we just discussed.
Exactly, exactly. And we would love to hear your comments and feedback in the email ID, which is provided in the description box. So, once again, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. We are here in the 10th episode, and we're always looking, as in business, to constantly innovate. And we are trying our best. Do send in your suggestions, your feedbacks. And even if you would like to come on the show, please do email us in the description. In the email address which is given in the description box. So, John, thank you so much for being here on the show, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you in the coming
Yeah, thank you for
episodes.
having me. Thank you for having me, sir.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure, John. The podcast, the idea, the seed is something from which you had suggested. So, this is as much as yours as it is ours. And let's move forward and looking forward to hearing more from you in the coming days. So, thank
Absolutely.
you. So thank you, John. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for this episode. We are bringing in something special for you in the next episode. And till then, stay safe and enjoy life wherever you are. Thank you and have a great day.